Become emotionally irresistible. A study was done on plenty of fictional books to figure out what the overall structure was, and they found a certain short-term pattern in nearly all of them. A good thing happened, and then a bad thing happened. Some of these were small, almost insignificant events, some were much larger. On a more meta level, you can find a bigger structure. Protagonist, antagonist, buildup, massive conflict, and usually happy ending. Or not happy ending, but a satisfying ending. Even though some of the characters might not make it, the ending has a feeling of completeness. One of the songs by the Beatles has a very huge ending. A Day in the Life has a huge orchestral buildup in the end. The buildup ends on a chord of massive tension. Then there is a pause and finally the release. This is a very satisfying ending. The tension is resolved. This is most music down to the chord progressions. Tension followed by release, cycling throughout the entire song. Now, why do we humans crave this kind of thing? You might wonder which came first, story structure or human nature. Or how specifically did they create fiction and music and poetry to match our deep emotions so accurately? It's the same basic process of natural selection. Imagine a group of ancient cavemen way back in the day. Kids would grow up listening to a bunch of different stories around the campfires. Some stories would be epic, the kind that stirred their emotions, getting them to lay awake at night under the stars with one powerful dream about the hero of those stories. When I grow up, I'm going to be just like him. On the other hand, there were likely stories that absolutely sucked. The responses to those stories were much different. Namely, dude, what the F, that story was lame. Here's the natural selection part. When all those kids grew up and it was their turn to tell stories around the campfire, which stories did they tell? The ones they remembered, the ones that stirred their emotions, the ones that stirred their most powerful emotions of ambition, love, loss, anger, fear, hatred, and the final satisfying ending. Not the lousy stories that didn't make any sense. Stories, movies, music, all art has similarly been passed through this organic, natural selection filter system. What's the meta takeaway for all this? Humans are emotional. The more profoundly you can move their emotions, the more they'll admire you, want to be around you, and follow you. But most people today are emotionally crippled. Most of us can only share a very small range of emotions. Learn about, appreciate, and be comfortable expressing all your emotions, and you don't have to worry about anything else. To learn how, visit mindpersuasion.com/emotional-mastery.